It's showtime. Yeah, we are back again. I'm so happy. Yeah, I can see people here. Upsy Kitchen. That was one of the winners from yesterday's prizes. Zawudi, and I see you. Kudra, Badru, Moses, yeah, Moses from Ghana. Inyene, Sandra, Ghanaians, as always, they are so punctual. It's like our Japa to Ghana. Oh. It's like our Japa there. Rejoice, Journey. If you're joining us, let us know where you are joining us from. Let us know where you're joining us from. Our our speakers, our experts, the panelists, the great men and man and woman and women. Because for this first session, we have two women on board and a man on board. So this is the first time we are having. Is it the first or the second time we're having a man on the family and parenting panel session? And I am so excited. Hi, Miriam from Nottingham. Hi. Let us know where you're joining from. In the meantime, I think I'll just play little bit music. Let's find the music to keep the room warm, you know. Yeah. Okay. Hello. So I'm going to bring on board my co-host for today, who is Hope. I can see her dancing in the background. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm alright. So excited for today. And I'm so excited for you too because you're moderating the family session and you're a family life coach. Oh, this is like extra dose of insight and blessings. So if you know someone that should be here, please share the link to them right now.
Go call them. Send them the link immediately. Something is about to happen. Hey.
Hi. Oh, that's my wonderful sister-in-law, Jean. She says, thank you for yesterday's session. Thank God for today. Yay. We are so happy for today. So where are you joining us from? Let us know.
I just love this sound. Like it's giving me good vibes here.
And B, you're not alone. You're not alone. Okay. Awesome. So while we are waiting for more people to join in, Hope, can you introduce the speakers for us?
Okay.
Have you got the profile of the speakers?
Let me quickly run through that. Let me do that now.
Coach Ife is here already. Tochi is here already.
Okay.
And Mr. Bamidele is here too.
Okay.
Let us know the amazing experts we are expecting today. Okay, so we can start with let's just start introducing the speakers because yesterday we ran out of time. That we didn't take any break. Oh my God, it was so amazing that we didn't even take
Yeah.
any break at all yesterday. Yes. Have you got anyone up yet? Or should I
Okay, I
proceed?
have Coach Ife here. Coach Ifoma here.
Coach Ify, please go on. She's
Yeah.
here already.
Okay. All right, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the Stress Management Summit. And today we are going to be having an amazing time. Yes. So let me quickly introduce our coaches for this evening's section. Wherever you're watching from, welcome, and welcome. Make sure your gadgets are fully charged because it's going to be a powerful section. It's going to be a powerful night. You don't want to miss. Yes, it's going to be a life-changing evening for you. Do not miss this. All right. So, Coach Ife Ogbonna, coaching and founder, Balanced Living Consulting, fondly called Coach Ife and born among 50 years ago in Lagos, Nigeria. She's a mom of 3 young adult girls, a trained medical assistant for over 9 years, and before that has 2 degrees, the first in food technology and the second in Bible and theology, in line with one of our passions to be a pastor. Our passion for helping people and seeing them achieve great things, and our own personal experiences and achievements in life made her to dive into life coaching with a niche in stress management, wow, and work-life balance with a special passion for mothers. Ifoma, Ifoma then founded Balance Living Consulting in April 2023, a stress management work-life balance coaching company that assists individuals in managing stress effectively, avoiding burnout at work, increasing productivity, and achieving a healthy work-life balance. Studies have showed that stress is the cause of 70%. So Coach Ife has written 3 published books and a journal, Selling Through Life, Creating the Life of Your Dream, iLife, Icebeam, MFA, and a journal, Finding Balance, all available on Amazon. Let's welcome Coach Ifoma Ogbonna. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Wow.
Thank you.
You. Welcome on board, Coach Ify.
Thank you so much.
Powerful profile. That's a powerful profile.
All right, so should I go ahead with the second coach, Coach Tochi?
Yes, Tochi, yes. She's here
Okay,
now.
so the next on our list is Coach Tochi Opara. She's a mom of 3, public servant, voiceover artist, and advocate for a less stressful mom life. As a seasoned mom and professional, she is passionate about empowering young mothers to prioritize their well-being, manage stress, and live a happy, fulfilled life. Through our page, Talking Mom Stress, she shares genuine value, content, and relatable experiences. Through our support group, she encourages mom in taking control of their lives guilt-free while also practicing daily stress management routines. Our expertise include stress management, self-care, and mindful parenting, inspiring moms to thrive in all aspects of life. She's also the founder of Mom's Day Out, a premium curated stress relief experience designed to help moms unwind, network, and have fun. We are going to be having a lot of fun with her this evening. So let's welcome Coach Tochi Opara. All right, so the next on our list is
Good
the next on our list
evening.
is
Yeah.
all right. So the next on our list is Coach Dele Agbogu. He's an author, leadership and family life consultant with a diverse background. Initially trained as an electrical engineer, he furthered his education with an MBA from a business school in the Netherlands. His expertise is strengthened by extensive certifications in management, leadership, and family systems, including being a certified family system engineering practitioner, FSEC, CTE, and holding postgraduate certificate in higher education from Falmouth University, UK. Dele has proven track record of revitalizing organizational and ministerial systems, enhancing their variability and competitive edge. Currently, he lectures on business management and leadership at the University of Suffolk in partnership with the Global Banking School UK, while maintaining his consultancy practice. His passion for counseling and marriage coaching has consistently yielded positive outcomes, particularly in the application of systems to resolve relational and leadership issues, employing pragmatic, experimental, and therapeutic techniques. He guides couples and individuals in courtship towards fulfilling relationship. Let's welcome Coach Dele Agbogu.
Hi, Coach Dele. You're live.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being here. We are so grateful.
I'm feeling intimidated in the midst of
Don't be intimidated. Don't worry. We are actually honored to have you here, sir.
We welcome you with open arms.
Yes,
Thank you very much. So that I can calm down, right? Thank you very much.
Yes, you are safe.
Thank you.
All right. So for the audience, this is how this session is going to be. This is a panel session where we have our amazing experts, Coach Ife, Tochi, and Mr. Bamidele. And what's going to be happening is we are going to be asking them questions on today's topic, which is on family and parenting. Okay, so we are going to be asking them questions, and they will bring their expert perspectives to help us live wholesome lives in this journey. And you're welcome to ask your own questions. You know, all those questions you piled up from yesterday. Now is the time. Okay, we have plenty time for you. So get your pen and paper ready. And if you've not shared this session with someone, please get them on board right now. You know that friend that is always asking you, hey, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. This children will not kill me, or my husband is now that. Go and send the link to them now. Let them be part of this. Okay. And we have our moderator here with us, the amazing Coach Hope. Oh, Lord, I should be reading her profile. Oh, my God. I have to be forgiven for that. Not your profile. Let me not show my dirty linens in public. So Coach Hope is the amazing strategist that has worked with me together from day one of the planning of this particular summit. So if you're clapping for me, you're also clapping for Hope. Yes. She's an amazing
woman. Well done.
And she's going to be the moderator for today's session. So somehow I'm going to take the back seat, and I'll just introduce, maybe just ask one question, and she takes over. Okay? So our first question is, what's one practical way couples can reduce stress in their marriages? Let's start with Coach Ife, please.
Okay. Marriage is a big school that you don't wish to graduate from. You just want to be. So one practical thing that you have to do, I will just chip into one. Understanding. People just say communication, talk to each other. That's what I get a lot of people saying. Communication is the key. As much as that is true, from my experience is that people talk, but they don't communicate. We talk to ourselves, but we don't communicate. One, maybe we are not speaking the same language with the other person. If I say, what is wrong with you, as a question, the other person might interpret it. she's asking me what is wrong with me. So as much as communication is good, you have to just know yourself, understand whether what your partner really wants. Is that partner that needs time? Is that partner that needs to deal with things immediately? So in understanding them, you need to put systems in place. They say that we don't live up to our goals, we fall back to our systems, so that if problems comes, you can always just go back to that same system that you have already made. So whatever works for you guys, just have to really put it down. You want to say, okay, if you're having a problem, we all need to go and take a break. If that's your system, you guys know it. That's our system. There's stress, there's a problem. Let everybody go and take a break. If it's your own system that our system is we have problem, or we'll take this one, will throughout the day we don't talk to ourselves, we don't whatever, but in the night time we must talk about it. Or we have a system, or we are calling somebody in, I'm reporting you to this person or whoever that person is. So create a system that works for you. And in creating that system, understand yourself. What somebody sees, just like stress, what somebody sees, for me, ask me to go to the city to go shopping is stressful for me. So if you feel that I have to go to the city, you're stressing me. Why for somebody else, going to the city is what cools them down. So in creating that system, know your partner, know their language, know their stress language, and create that system according to that stress language. That's what I would say.
So it's more like no one size fits for everyone.
No,
No,
I don't think so.
Exactly. Sababi Dele, since you want to say something.
No. I'm just responding to her wonderful response. Yeah,
Okay.
But I think to take that further, that understanding is very, very key. I've once heard many years back by my mentor. He said, when you want to say understanding, he said understanding is what you put under that you are standing on. So it literally means you have things under, you can manage things within within a healthy state. But if you want to take that understanding further, a lot of people, they actually, seek to be understood instead of seeking to understand. And that's a big paradigm shift for whoever is seeking to understand. And that's where listening come in. So that communication is huge, and we can start talking about communication for the next 1.5 hours here. I won't leave here. But the other part I want to add to that is having that shared vision. Now, focusing on the shared vision and taking responsibility. Now, this is one practical way. Whatever I'm saying is what myself and my wife, we have practiced over the years, 22 years down the line now, and that has actually helped us. So in order to reduce stress, when you and your partner, in addition to understanding each other's differences, knowing that what is okay for you might not be okay for the other person, and if it's not okay for the other person, how do you come in to support that person? So in doing that, these are granular details that actually lead to where you are headed as husband and wife or as partners. And if that's the case, if you have that end picture or end goal in mind, then it helps every other details. And that's why what some people term as stress is actually the discipline that is required to navigate a process or a stage of their journey towards fulfillment. Now, that end picture will give you that understanding of the necessary responsibility on your part, necessary discipline on your part, necessary perseverance on your part. Now, these keywords I've mentioned now are the things some people turn into stress. So with the focus on that vision and the aspiration with the understanding of responsibility and support, that will go a long way in now seeing it from the perspective of this is a necessary experience that is required for us to move from where we are now to the next place where we will have to be. I'm bringing this up so that people, the categories of people who term something to be stress, will actually see it as it's not actually stress, it's something that is temporary and that can move them and make them better than where they are coming from. And of course, we are in a better position to be able to manage situations. Thank you.
This perspective. Wow. I'm stunned actually. So instead of seeing it as stress, see it as part of the journey to the destination, to the beautiful destination. Wow. Ruchi.
Oh, yeah, whispering my name. Yes, I'm actually stunned by Mr. Bamidele's
New.
mindset shift, because that's a huge one.
Yes.
And really, I feel inspired by that. So a little further than he has taken it, or let me say, like a shootout of what he said. For me, one practical way couples can manage stress is offering unwavering support.
Yeah.
And just like we have also said here, these are things that, they are practical, they are things that we practice as well. There is nothing as beautiful or as blissful as knowing that the person that you are doing life with has your back. Like, they are there standing with you. As a couple, you are now a team. So knowing that this person, no matter what's going on, this person, no matter the situation, this person has got my back. It just makes life easier to navigate, basically. And, the person is looking out for you, you're looking out for each other. You're trying everything possible to make sure that life is easy for you guys. And offering support can take any form. It can look differently for people. And it can look like, number one, just planning or scheduling time to connect intentionally, and this also, adds like a spark to the relationship. It doesn't let you guys suffer emotionally. You know that you're going through different phases of life. Having somebody who speaks life into you, who tells you or who encourages you when you're feeling down, somebody who is filling up the gap when you are dropping the ball in certain areas. Because the truth is, you cannot be everywhere at the same time. And stress, like we said, that stress can show up in any form. It can be physical, it can be financial, spiritual, whatever angle you are looking at it from. Knowing that this person that I'm doing life with is there for me, it just makes it a lot more easier. So the person can even, maybe if it's financial stress, the person can suggest beautiful business opportunities for you, or say one or two things that would even encourage you and give you an idea of a way to sell your business. Or it can even be praying for you or praying together. So this support goes a long way for me. Even the other day on Instagram, I was watching a reel that a new mom put up. And she was sharing that, in fact, she was scared being a new mom. She was afraid of that postpartum phase, and she didn't know what to expect. But surprisingly, she did not suffer postpartum depression the way she was, the way she saw it, or the way she heard other experiences from other moms, because of her partner. Like, he was there in the middle of the night handling the baby. He was trying to make everything easier, trying to do chores around the house, in the kitchen, and all of that. And he even helped her heal faster. So imagine that this person that you call your partner is not there for you. What will happen? Everything will feel like you are doing life alone. You feel unloved. You feel like everything is coming down on you at the same time. But there's an encouragement and a happiness that comes with knowing that your partner supports you and is there for you. So offering unwavering support is it for me.
Wow.
Can I quickly jump in something?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Understanding, support, the big picture, that is the vision. I just want to give one practical example that myself and my wife, because of the big picture that we had before we got married, we discussed how many children we are going to have. We discussed the kind of school that children will go to. We discussed our career choices right from the onset. So the support is actually a big one, and because at every stage that you have envisioned and you have worked out. I'm a Christian, for example, and I believe God, and I believe that He has a say in every stage of my life. So I don't see anything as coincidence. So at every stage, you discover that somebody is one that need that attention. And that attention for whatever is the project or the phase the person is in might be requiring much of the family finance or budget directed to. Now, if that is not the case, that's where the support comes in. That's where understanding comes in. Now, we at some point, she did a master. I finished my first degree first before she actually finished hers. But she went on to have a master's degree. I didn't do my own master's degree until 10 years after I finished my undergraduate. Now, at each of those stages, whoever is involved in that capital project, we devote one person's salary completely to it, understanding that. And that's why that support you talked about is huge. And I really understand, I really get that. And that's why it's difficult for couples to grow together or to align together if they are working within two different worlds. And that's why we need to really bring them together so that they can see things together, they can support each other. And with that understanding, because of the picture of the preferable future they are working towards, they are able to motivate themselves, energize themselves, and they have what it takes to even persevere just for the outcome that they are expecting. Yeah, thank you.
You know, why you're talking, it just occurred to me to do a special shout out to my husband. His name is
Wow.
I have to really appreciate him because if not for his support, maybe this summit won't be holding. So he's a special shout out to him.
That's great.
Yes, for him giving me that stability. Most of my stress is so reduced. I am able to fly as much as I want to just because he has given me those wings and those support. So thank you to him. I don't know if he can hear me.
We're also saying thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sure he'll be dancing somewhere now. Okay, Hope, please carry on now.
Okay, thank you so much for that amazing time. Thank you. Okay, so understanding support. I think this brings us to the next question that talks about parenting. Yes. So that question will be channeled to Mr. Bamidele. The next one. How do you handle parenting stress when you feel overwhelmed?
I prioritize self-care. I prioritize self-care. When I feel overwhelmed, I know trying to get things done when you are overwhelmed will be counterproductive. People who are overwhelmed and stressed. If you look at it from a personal level, if you look at it from the family perspective, if you look at it from a work perspective, you see people unnecessarily grumpy, they are snappy, they are not just there. So for me, how I handle parental stress when I feel overwhelmed, I constantly talk to myself that Dele, you cannot be productive if you try to make any decision at this point in time. I think that's the first thing I do normally. And when that is settled, then whatever it is, no matter how provocative the thing is, either from my wife, because at the early stage, we always have that disagreement practically every other day. And at some point, although I couldn't tell her at that point in time, but it was much later when we grew beyond that stormy phase of our journey. And I remember going to the close and I said, Lord, I hope I had not made a mistake in this marriage. Because we literally have disagreement every other day. And Later, I got understanding to know that personality clashes. I'm more introverted. She's more extroverted. She's more dominant, not domineering in the negative sense, but she's more strong-willed. I am more reserved. I take my time to make decisions. So when people are clueless, like we were then, it was a big deal because I don't want trouble. And it's not that it's trouble. She just wants us to resolve issues, but resolving that issue is nightmare for me. So when I'm at the earlier stage, I didn't know how to really handle them well. That's why I said I asked myself a question, and I hope I have not made a mistake. But moving on from there, I now looked at it. Oh, Dele, you better gain this mental consciousness that until you are in the right frame of mind, there's no how you can resolve this thing, or there's no how you can deal with this thing, or there's no how you can make any reasonable or empowering decision, and therefore calm down. So that is one way I handle it. And that is between me and her. But we're talking about parenting stress now. Now, because it has a similar logic when you have hyperactive children. We have our children while they were growing up, and sometimes somebody like me and my wife, we are career people and we have high responsibilities, and it places a lot of demand on our time. And when we get to, we just want to just have the peace of mind. Sometimes we get a call from school because of our children's hyperactive nature. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I think they got the hyperactive state from me, because I just remember sometimes when I make a mental somersault that I was super active when I was younger. So I said, Dele, see your life. That is you replicating yourself in that. So we get that call. I'm already stressed out from work. I get back home. What is all this? What is all this? So myself and my wife, we actually, when we gain the better understanding, we try to now see, how we can do it. At part time, one person is at a better state than the other person. Whoever is on his or our own wit end, try to step down from that. And the person that's in a better state of mind is the one that goes ahead to try to resolve that matter, because we know that we cannot give what we don't have. So when you are in that state of heightened stress, at that point in time, you can't give anything that will be healthy. And truth be told, we've made certain decisions, have taken certain actions that we later regretted. And so we told ourselves we will never allow ourselves to get so overwhelmed that will allow it to make us to take a decision that we'll later regret. So based on that, we look at it per time, depending on the situation. This time around, I might be the one that will be in a better state of mind. Then we'll delegate that to Lele, you handle that. Some other times, I might be the one that is in a more stressful state and she's better in that situation. Then I take the back seat, then she goes on and she handles it. If it's both of us that are stressed at the same level at the same time, then we try to just find a way. We will not take any action. Neither are we going to take any measures against them, because we know it can be destructive to their mental well-being. It can be destructive to their esteem. And I've suffered that personally when I was growing up from my own parents, because they are disciplinarians. So I understand the impact of you just yelling and just disciplining uncontrollably and without understanding and not coming down to their level. So that is how practically we deal with our cases when we are overwhelmed. Because the first thing is, you will never get anything positive out of it if you act out of those heightened negative emotions, because those overwhelmed state of stress will actually get your emotions to that point where you will not make any serious decision. And this also applies to our work, our career. Even when you're doing business, you don't make a decision when you are not in that right frame of mind, especially when you're overwhelmed with stress. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think we have a question here that still goes to you before Coach Ify. Okay, he says for partners who are not on the same page before marriage, what can they do to align themselves?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. For those that are watching that are not married, I want to say congratulations. You have opportunity to go for counseling. Please go for counseling. And there are multiple tools personally that I use. I consult at the family life level, I consult at the leadership level. There are tools that we use in ensuring that people have aligned values, aligned perspective. When I address people, my clients, I don't put emotions to it. I don't put sentiments to it. And I made them to understand the possible things that they are getting themselves into. After we have initial sessions and we'll take them through, make them to bring up 10 things that they feel they will be doing in life in different areas, their career, their spiritual, their family, their just practically in all areas. Then we use that to align them. And people we know, they will run personality tests, we will run love language tests, we run culture compatibility tests. We do the one that helps us to get into where they are both coming from, their worldview, where they are coming from in terms of upbringing, in terms of exposure, in terms of culture. That helps to put before their faces to know that this is what they are getting themselves into. Now, you've gone past that. You are married now. You didn't notice that before you got into the marriage. It is still possible to make things work. I will really say, because as a professional, you cannot just say it like I'm answering that. There's no one straightforward answer to it. It must be assessed, and we have to understand the peculiarity of the situation. Sometimes we might have two families might have communication problem, but the root causes might be totally different. So the fact that I applied a particular approach for one does not necessarily mean it's going to be applicable for the second one. So we need to drill down and understand the peculiarities and where these things is coming from and how long these have been, and at what point did you discover this, and what have you done? Because sometimes something you don't handle very well, it gets compounded over time. And that's why some people get to a breaking point where they tell themselves they are going their separate ways. So we need to look into that and be able to say, but the truth is, we need to let people understand that having different values is not a crime. Neither is it wrong. It's just that it just shows that we are different. Now, it takes some measure of maturity to now accommodate those different values together. I'm a big fan of harmonizing your vision, your dreams, your aspiration. And that is what will give the opportunity for both parties' aspirations to be merged together. That's how you come up with your family vision and family values and the constitution for the family you want to run with. So in that sense, because there's a whole lot into it, as he's talking, and my brain is just opening up. So this is a short time. We need to narrow it down. But I think if that person can reach out, then we can take a special look at it with that peculiarity, because we need to find alignment with both parties. If there's no alignment, I'm not a prophet of doom. If there's no alignment, it's just a matter of time. It's a ticking bomb. And we don't wish that for anybody. So the earlier one seek call out for help, the better it will be. That will be my position. That will be my say.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Coach Ify, you may want to touch on that.
Yes, I would. I will start even from that question that was asked. The truth is that when you are not aligned, when you're not in the same page as your partner, a lot of things go wrong. Yeah. I use myself as an example. I was married for 21 years, and I'm not more married because it's worse. And when there is no alignment, and maybe you use the word values, I believe your values, maybe character, cultures might be different, but your values should be very, very similar, or else it won't work, Yeah. And we find parenting is something that should be done together. Just like what you said. You said if the wife is down, then the husband will take up. Then when two of you are down, you have to also put a system. I'm a lover of system. You have to put a system of what will happen. So in my case, there was not much of alignment. Sometimes when a marriage breaks, it's not a matter of who is good or who is bad. That's not even the problem here, what I'm going to go into. But there was no alignment. There was no working together. So although there is a family union, but it's not functioning the way it's supposed to function. So as a mom, and I don't live in Nigeria, you go to work, you do all those things, still come back and do the things you're supposed to do at home. That can be very overwhelming. And you still want to be this loving, smiling mom. Right now, I talk about I'm against shouting moms, but I did it for a long time because that's the only way we knew. But coming into an environment whereby you cannot be shouting on your child every time because you are stressed out, and they'll go to school and they'll see another thing. They'll come back and they're angry with you because they fell down or they did something. I say, are you not seeing road? What is wrong with you? Their classmates will fall down. Their parents are saying, oh, is your leg okay? But we were bothered about something else. You understand? So, and sometimes it's from our own stress. And our own stress, we take it over on them. You understand? So for me, for some parents here, moms or dads, that maybe you are still married or you are single parenting, is really challenging, because if you are married but you are still, that's what I call single parents in a marriage environment, whereby you are still having it all. Maybe you are the person bringing the money. It can also be men. I've seen men, they're the one bringing in the money. They will still come back home. Their wives maybe are not working. Everywhere is still scattered. They'll still be the one to help the kids with the house homework. So it's really overwhelming. For me personally, I had to talk to my kids. I didn't work much when they were growing up because I really needed that strength for them. So I made that sacrifice of not having things, but I was there. So when I started working at a point in time, I'll go to work. What I do is that I don't come back immediately from work. So I don't take that work stress and dump it immediately on them. So I take a longer walk. My walk from my working place to my home was about 5 minutes walk that time. So I would take a longer walk, maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes walk before getting home, so that I calm down, separate that stress from work, and get ready to enter my home in a sound frame of mind. And sometimes still yet, you don't still get it. Sometimes maybe I've separated that work from my home, but you just come into your home and then you are trying to open the door and the shoes are there, you understand? And they're telling you welcome. You're telling them, why is the shoe there? Why is your shoe there? Why didn't you put your shoe? And your child just said to you, welcome. They said welcome, and you are already attacking, And sometimes it's worse because you are feeling overwhelmed. You are feeling tired from work, maybe, and you now come, you want to see, maybe you left your home even clean. For me, I told my kids, when I come, give me hugs, great, but I need my 5 minutes to just take in everything. So they know they'll just come and greet, and they'll now go. Then when I get myself, I revisit them and then call them. So for me, I need this break. One, maybe from work, I take that break. And when I get home, especially from a long day, I tell them, I need my 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes to come down, hug them. I was cool. Then I go and move my things, and especially when they're growing up, then I get myself. But that's just the immediate one. Before this time, you have to try to find ways to always keep your stress level low. There's what they call the stress bucket, whereby work is there, family life is there, everything is there, your stress bucket is high. So you have to put a system in place whereby your stress bucket is always low, so that you don't easily get overwhelmed. Part of it is self-care. Those things that make you feel good. I know a lot of people, they work, and they rest, but they don't play. I used to be like that. We rest, we work a lot, we rest, but we don't play. We don't do things that we really love to do. And as a mom, most of the time, we don't do the things that we love to do. We can say, okay, we are resting, we are going to sleep. But do you do anything at all that you love to do? So if you don't do those things, your body will not come down. You'll be in a state of you'll be on, I don't know the English word to use. You're just there's one word I'm trying to use. Irritable, not just irritable, you are just so you're full, you are tensed. Yeah, you're just tensed all the time because you have not really, somebody have not giggled you that you just feel relaxed, And if you are not doing that, parenting will not be easy for you. You understand? So that's back to system. Let your kids know, for example, when mama is stressed, when everything is too much, talk to mama. Right now, my children, they are young adults. See that they ask me, Mama, when do you have time for me? Sometimes I won't get angry them asking me that question, but they are so used to it for many years now that they still ask me, hey, when do you have time for me? Because everything with you is appointments, you know. I say yes, because when you're talking to me, I want to listen, I want to be there. But when I'm doing something, I'll not be there for you. I'm not giving you the answer. So for me, take care of yourself. Self-care, do the things you love to reduce stress, exercise, mindfulness, all those things. Those things will continuously reduce your stress. And when that stress comes actively in that time, tell your child, give me 5 minutes. If you have a partner, let your partner take over at that time. If you don't have a partner, just tell your if you can work out for any reason, just do that. But please come back actively to attend to them. Just like also wives and husbands, whereby you're not in the mood to have sex and your husband approaches you and you refuse. You don't refuse, you tell, okay, no, I'm not in the mood. Please, you should be the next person to activate it the next time because you are the one that stopped the game. So when you don't say, no, I'm tired, I have a headache, try immediately that headache finishes to be the one to, to start. So when you take a step back, be the same person to take a step forward. That would be my take on
so
it.
much, Ify. Thank you so much, Coach Ify. I think that takes us to the next question. And the next question will marry it together because it looks similar to this one on the screen right now. But the question is going to Coach Tochi. Yes. So the next one is what's the best way to discipline kids without feeling guilty or harsh? Then we have a question here. We're going to combine both together because they look familiar. It said, how do you deal with a mom who always shouts and transfers aggression to the daughter every day and it's affecting the child?
Okay, thank you for that question.
Coach Tochi, over to you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so discipline without feeling guilty, is that possible? I don't know. For me, like I don't want to shame anybody, but even me, I feel guilty and there's no time. And I want to say it like this, like the fact that you feel guilty is because you care. Like you are reviewing the things that you have done and you are just reviewing and trying to make things better. So for me, discipline, I think we need to take it to the foundation of God's instruction. So what does God instruct us about how to discipline? Discipline with love, love being the foundation, discipline with grace and wisdom, you're nurturing, you're teaching, and of course you're a model. And being a model means that before you are able to discipline your kids, you should be able to discipline yourself because what they are or things they do are a projection of what you do or what you say as well. So let me start from that angle. So you should be able to, if you want them to be able to self-regulate, be able to self-regulate your own your emotions as well, because you cannot teach what you don't do. You cannot tell them to do things, and your actions are speaking otherwise. So being able to discipline in love means that you are going to use connection as a tool. Connection as a tool. You get down to the level of your kids. You actively listen to them. You understand that child in front of you. So I'm going to refer to Dr. Vivian's session yesterday because again she's my mentor. I learned from her everything I know about motherhood and being a calm parent. She was the one who coached me on that, and her resources are just amazing. So learning how to discipline your child comes from a place of love, from a place of teaching. Every wrongdoing or every mistake that a child makes opens up that opportunity to teach them what they ought to know or what you want them to know. It's not a time for you to now shout over every little thing or to punish them. Do you get what I'm saying? So use connection as a tool to get across to them, to let them know what they are supposed to do. Again, you cannot even um, punish. Now I want to use the term punish over what you have not taught them. If you have not taught them that, okay, don't place this hot cup on top of this table, and they do it, and then you are now shouting, they don't know. You have not taught them, you have not modeled, you have not instructed, and then how do you expect them to know those things? So discipline from a place of love, use connection as a tool, show a lot of empathy towards things that they do. So I have a toddler. He's going to be 2 years old in a couple of months. And in fact, amongst all my three kids, he's the one I know that I have practiced gentle parenting the most. And I am seeing the effect. My first child, as a new mom, I didn't know anything about calm parenting. In fact, just like Ochipi said, is the way we were trained. I had a disciplinarian as a father, even though my mom was a little bit on the softer side. But most of the things I do, I realized is based upon what my father, how he disciplined us as well. So I was a chronic yeller and I was looking for perfection. Like, I did not want to project myself as somebody who is failing. Like I have a daughter and then she comes up and she's too bold and I'm like, don't you respect your elders, that kind of thing. So as a new mom, I made a lot of mistakes. But after my first child, I started to understand that these children, their brain is still developing. They react based on impulse, and you cannot take it up on them. You have to show them what they need to do. You have to constantly remind them. I'm sorry, you may hear him yelling. He's actually calling out to me now. You have to constantly teach, repeat. You see, repetition, you will not get tired of talking. You will not get tired of talking. They say you have to say something almost more than 13 times for it to stick the first time. When I heard it, I was amazed. I was like, okay, so it's not even only me. I have to talk. You see this talk, you go talk until the end of time. It's never enough. And you have to continue to reinforce the things that they need to know. So give them grace, show them grace, do it according to the teachings of God, show them, be calm and be calm. Like, I know that life throws a lot at us. It's difficult to center ourselves, and every little thing we tend to, blow it out of proportion because of the way we are feeling. But there's something that also helps me. When I'm in that raging state, I've noticed that those two voices are there. There's one that's usually loud. Come on, talk to them, let them know that you are a no-nonsense mom. You shout, yell, tell them, let them show them. You've been talking since morning, they did not hear you. Come on. And as that voice is shouting, there's another one saying, yeah, mom, yes. What are you supposed to do? Did you tell them? So like today, I have shouted today, I shouted in the morning. What happened? I told them to freshen up. Today is Saturday, now clean up here and there. My first child is 8, my other child is 6. 8 going on 9, 6 going on 7. And when it comes to their room, I like them doing it together, even though they have separate chores. But my 9-year-old, for some reason now, likes to relax a lot and not do so much. So I've gone to their room, I've told them 1, 2, 3. I counted it 7 times actually. And I told them, this is my 7th time coming here. The next time I come, you guys will not like what I will do. And of course, it happened again. So she went to put this toilet cleaner in the toilet, so that everything. Then her younger sister took it and it slipped off her hand and it burst. I just bought that toilet cleaner yesterday, and that was just the breaking point for me this morning. Yeah. I was shouting. I was like, "You guys, I bought this thing yesterday. It has worked. Do you know how much I bought it?" And the still calm and firm voice are telling me, it's 3,000. Is that why you want to see your compound people are hearing your voice? And I'm like, and that other voice is telling you, show them, you have gone there several times. Let them know that even though you always pet them, but you can also be a tough mom. And the other voice is telling me, they don't need that right now. Even if it's 3,000, you can buy the small one. If it's because of the money, buy the small one. When you have money, buy the big one again. And I told them that I'm not going to clean it. I actually told them to kneel down and raise up their hands. Let me just be confessing my sins now. But at the same time, the guilt that came upon me that point in time was when my baby now went to join them to kneel down and raise up his hand. And then that still voice told me, can you see? What are you showing him now? This boy that just came into this world yesterday, he's already learning how to kneel down and raise up his hand. And I felt so guilty at that point in time. And I told myself, yeah, I said I wasn't going to clean it. I actually went to take a mop and I was mopping it. And while I was mopping it, I started listening to that still voice like, you are doing it. You can do it. Forgive them. Don't worry, it's a mistake. They will learn. Next time, tell them, or you can do it with them. Go and tell them, okay, let's do this. Let me be washing the sink. You guys should rinse it. Or let's fold the clothes together. You know, those kind of things. And at the end of that episode, I was so glad that I did not spank. Because if I had listened to that loud voice, God knows, maybe I would have given somebody like three spatula cane and I would have put mark on their body. And and then the guilt will heighten because I will see the mark eventually. Or somebody, maybe a friend or somebody will come in and be like, what happened to your hand? My mommy beats me. And then you start feeling guilty and embarrassed. So I was so glad at that point in time that I was able to listen to that still voice that calmed me down, and I had to, see another way to address or to discipline at that point in time. Yes, I told them to kneel down. Immediately I started cleaning, I just told them, you guys should get up. What do you want? Then I now came back to the teachings that I was taught. What do you want now? What do you want to do now? We are going to freshen up. Okay, what do you want now? My second mom said, okay, she wants hot water. I said, okay, let me pour the water for you. Go and take your bath. What's your own headache now? She was like, that she was looking for the toothpaste. She did not see the toothpaste. I was like, okay, let's go and look for it. So we came back. Something that I should have just asked initially, like, what's going on? Why are you guys not doing this thing? Instead of going through the long route and shouting and giving myself headache and giving extra work of mopping and do that. It could have been avoided. So what I'm trying to say is try to listen to that still voice when that rage has come upon you. At the end of the day, you'll be happy that you took the other option. There's no one way to discipline, and it doesn't have to be the harsh or yelling part. And that when you take the other part that is speaking to you softly, calmly, but firmly, you would do it without feeling guilty about it. You will be satisfied with the decision you took, and you see that you have modeled, you have taught them, and you are keeping their mental health safe. So that's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach.
Sorry, someone said Odogu was showing solidarity. That's your son.
Honestly, I felt so glad. It just, when I saw him kneeling down, it melted my heart. Like, I was like, Jesus, Coach, what are you doing? like, is this how you want it to grow up? In fact, before you even say go and kneel down, he has gone to kneel down. No, I don't want that. I beg.
Your internal dialogue is so interesting. It's like I should come and live inside your head.
Okay, Coach Bramidele, would love you to touch on that, but alongside this next question, before we move to this one, and Gloria asked for the next one. So he says, my question is, must we always beat our children anytime they do wrong? Looking at the Bible saying that if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. In 1 minute, sir.
Open it now.
Okay, I'll try in 1 minute. I think I'll just give an illustration and I will leave that to us to reflect. I'm a product of a child that was yelled at, beaten, both physical and oral abuse. I'm not saying this to paint my parents, especially my dad. I'm not saying it to paint him bad. I'm saying it because he was operating at the level of knowledge he knew then at time. It's even late now, blessed memory. So I was beaten practically on every wrong. And when I do other things, or intellectually, when it comes to academics, I'm very bright. So when I bring good news on terms of my results, and it was passively acknowledged. But every little details of wrong that I do was, it was measured back with high consequences. I got a lot of beatings, I got a lot of oral abuse. And why I'm giving my own personal story is for somebody to learn from that as a parent. So you tell yourself, I will do whatever it takes to make sure I don't parent this way. Because even after I now graduated from the university, from my first degree, I suffered low self-esteem that denied me a lot of opportunities, and I could not associate easily until I came in contact with my mentor that, I learned under him for years. And that helped me to, of course, God, number one for me. Then he ordered myself to meet this person. And for many years, I was under his mentorship. And that was what brought me to where I am today. Well, how many people will always have that opportunity? I ask myself, because we parent the way we are parented. If we're not very intentional about it, if we are parented negatively, I'm telling you, it's a repetitive cycle. You translate that into your own. So you don't need to feel bad, because I used to also feel bad because we went through the same thing during our own first 1 year. So now saying, is it every time? It is not okay to beat your child. I am somebody of that philosophy. I believe in that philosophy before, that if you don't beat the child will not really know that he has gotten it, or he or she had gotten it wrong, or it might just let the person to be set loose. But right from the beginning, if that is the measure we establish, then it will go a long way in empowering the child, because they are not animals. My wife will always say they are not animals. Then why will I raise my hand? But the same, my wife that will say they are not animals, myself and her were guilty of the same offense the first 1, 2, 3 years of our marriage, because we never knew better. I now sat down, I reflected, I realized that, it was because I was parented this way, even though I hated it. That repetitive cycle was programmed me, and in an unconscious way, when it became my own time to parent as a father, I just switched on, because that was what I saw for many years. So in the nutshell, please, it is not okay for everything. There are ways that we can go about these things. There are ways we can go about it. You can do, you have to establish boundaries. You deny them privileges. There's a way you reinforce some things and let them know that there are consequences to whatever it is that they do. You know what they love the most. Deny them. Use as measure for consequence for them, and deny them. Over time, they will get the message. Sorry, I know it's way more than 1 minute, but one thing is, when you are doing that and you have been doing it for a few months, you think it's not working. We were in that situation before. Please, the problem is you stopping. If you want it to work, continue. Whether you like it or not, the thing is seeping down somewhere. Don't think it's getting here like my tradition to say, enter from here, comes out from here. No. Even if looking at it, it's looking like it's coming out from here. Something is depositing inside them. And at the right time, at the right season, at the appropriate age, you will be amazed, because we are seeing these fruits now from our older boys. They are now our own mouthpiece that we are using to talk to our last child, who is a girl at the teenage level now. So that's what I will say. Thank you.
Can I say something,
thank
please?
you so much. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, sorry.
Please.
Yeah. In discipline, when we discipline our kids, we should not have guilt about it. So anytime we feel guilty, that means that particular discipline is then wrong. You feel guilty when you did something wrong. So that's where guilt comes in. Personally, what I can recommend is, one, depends on how old your kids are. There are different ways you can deal with discipline, depends on how old they are. There's a point I was asking my kids when they did something wrong. Okay, if you don't do this, if you don't get your room arranged or so, what punishment should I give to you? And I realized, asking them that question, some of the answers they gave to me were more harder than what I would have said. Maybe I would have said, you will not have TV for 1 week. They'll just say, Mama, if I don't do it today, give me 1 month, I'll not have TV. How can you give a child 1 month, not TV? But that's what they will say from their mouth. And them saying it, most of the time they get to do it. So one of the way you can have a guilt-free you discipline your child and don't feel guilty, let them themselves give themselves that punishment that they would do if they don't do that thing, you know. Secondly, you give children punishments in quotes based on the wrong they have done. Let there be a relation to what they did wrong, or else they will not learn. They cannot do one thing wrong and you are disciplining them for something else. We do it all the time. Even today, I do it, and my child will ask me, "But what concerns you taking my ND away from this particular distance?" And I must find the connection. I must find somehow to connect it, or else they will tell you they don't learn from it. You understand? So when you are disciplined, giving them a discipline, it should be connected to what they did wrong, you know. And when you have punished your child and you feel guilty, that means you did something wrong. Go back to them and say you are sorry. Maybe the discipline was too much. I remember a day, I keep telling this my young adult child, every day she wants to make me feel bad. I say, Mama, I remember that day that you really beat me. You can imagine me as a parent, and I live in a place where I don't beat children. I have another understanding or on beating. But that day I was teaching her, and she was not just here understanding the 1 + 1 I was teaching her. I asked her 1 + 1. I tell her, you ask her the next minute, she will tell you another thing. I said, I'm a very I'm a high achiever. I want things to go well and everything like that. I beat this girl, and you would think it was something else. Immediately I finished, I was just there. My child was crying. I was crying. I took out my frustration on her, you know, and I cried and cried. She cried and cried, and I had to say, I'm sorry. I am very sorry. So as parents, we can make mistake for any reason. So when you feel guilty, know that you did something wrong, go back to them, tell them you're sorry, and move on, look for other better ways to change. Lastly, when you tell a child something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and they are not doing it, you have to find something else to do. You have to find another way. Either you are not doing it the right way, or they are not hearing you, one of the two. So either you have to say it in another way for them to understand, or find out what the problem is. For example, my last child, you tell her to wash the plate. To take her so long. Ask her to wash the bathroom. So it's done. Ask her to take the car, go to shop. It's done. Or kitchen. So I realized that, forget it. This is not just her own thing. That's not her skill. You understand? She can do any other thing, but kitchen. So I have to now change everything. That means I'm doing the kitchen as much as possible, and she does the other things without any problem. So sometimes, you go back and see, why is it not working? Why am I telling this person something is not working? Then instead of punishing that person, then you change some things.
Okay, thank you so much. Please help highlight the question from Gloria. So we'll ask it together.
Yes.
And Coach Bamidele, you respond to our next question. Gloria says, how will you handle a partner who never points out your mistake to you, but rather choose to give you a silent treatment? Hold on, please. Let me marry the next question to this. It says, how do you keep love alive in marriage when life is stressful?
All right. Should I go on?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can relate very well with this question on the screen. How will you handle a partner who never points out your mistakes to you, but rather choose to give you a silent treatment? I used to be this person. So, and I think this is born out of your personality traits. The introverted ones and the extroverted ones. Even with the introverted ones, we have the two other broader categories under the introverted. We talk about phlegmatic and also melancholy. And the extroverted ones, we talk about the cholerics and also the sanguine. My wife happens to be an expressive person that falls under the cholerics and the sanguine. I fall under the introverted person. I'm an in person. I don't like to push myself out there. And each time we have an issue like that, I bottle it in. I bottle it in. I bottle it in my head. I'm mature. Meanwhile, those things bottling in, they were actually eating me up. In fact, my wife at some point in time was, she felt cool then that my husband is mature. See, all these things he did. I myself, I was unaware that I was actually priming a bomb, only waiting for the day it will explode. Another time that we have an issue where it was only maybe 1/20th of some other things that had happened. This manual old primer when in the villages for borehole, you prime and prime and prime and prime, it will not come out. But the moment it starts gushing out like this, wow, that was how, as quiet as I was, I couldn't control it. I said words that time that I was not proud of. I hated myself for doing it, and you could see the surprise on her face. Ever since, I told myself I might not be able to express it immediately, but I took it upon myself as a responsibility. You know what? I'm going to be saying this. I've given my personal story to be able to buttress this thing. How do you handle a partner who never points out your mistakes? Please, you being the expressive person, you need to bring, when he or she does something and is hurting, please find an opportune time, not when both of you are debating or angry or the environment is charged with negative emotions. Make sure it's in a relaxed state and you are also calm, so that when you are bringing it out, as a feedback to the person. Because before now, the person, you might have discovered that, it was because you discovered that he had not been saying this, he hadn't been saying this. Because people like us, it is when another thing now happens, we're talking, we can make a reference to it. And you are wondering, where is this one coming from? What are we talking about? Where is it coming from? So bring it to the open and let us know. But in saying it, if that person is like me, don't come hard. Come when you know I'm in a fresh state, and come when let it be like a feedback. And if it's a feedback, you know what you did the other time, this and this and this, it didn't get down well with me. Because you've had one or two inferences or example that you can use, and you now bring it up. Please, you know what? There's no how I can be in your mind. If you don't feel comfortable about something, can you please just let me know? There's a way, the tone, the gesture, the way you pass something on that will really hit people like me. And I've left that word, but don't get me right. But then that's how you can get at me. And I say, oh, I didn't know. Oh, then when that person is trying to explain something, because of using my wife as an example, because of her personality, sometimes she just cut me short. At some point, I want to say, okay, I'm the man. I want to say something back. So I told myself, Dele, you know what? Not every time should be keeping quiet again. So you have to also say something. The day I attempted it, I became somebody like have a stammering nature. But if I say, baby, she would have it, pam, 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 4 points in quick succession. Only one. I'm still staggering and I'm stammering, and it made me feel so stupid, and I feel so less of me. That is one of the experiences that got me. So you know what? Dele, shut your mouth. You can't win this lady when we come to contest by virtue of words. But the best way she now got across to me, she now used some of those things, especially when I open my mouth and I just messed the whole thing up. She was afraid. And she will now be saying, Dele, I'm not in your mind. If I am not God that know what is going on in your mind, except for some maybe intuitive thing, but how many times would that be? That cannot be the norm. So please, if you know I've done something that you feel is not okay, can you just let me know? That time, she too had understood that the way and approach she used in getting those things across to me was not the best of approaches. And therefore, she also now learned from that. I also now learned that Dele, you cannot be keeping silent. So I think it's to let this person know, based on the other ones that you have experienced, and appeal to the person so that our marriage can be healthy and we'll be able to make headway, and we can get to understand each other better. And when people like us hear that, they will make effort, because we just need to understand the impact of what we are doing. Except I'm not a responsible man. I'm a responsible man. So I have to now take it upon myself, take it as a challenge and a responsibility to do what is required so that I can actually make things work. Now, the other question is, you said how can
How
you
do you keep love? Yes.
alive,
How do you keep love alive in marriage
loving alive
when life is stressful?
when life is stressful? I would say focus on shared activities and intimacy. Focus on shared activities and intimacy. Stress can often push couples apart, and it is therefore essential to prioritize shared activities and intimacy. This might actually involve, when you talk about scheduling regular date nights. I am not a fan of going out on a date, but I have to cultivate the habit. So from time to time, we don't do it too frequent, but I know that this makes the day for my wife. Regular date nights, engaging in hobbies together, or simply making time for physical affection and emotional connection. Because stress can shape you into a form that becomes the reality of your world. And when this happens, others can get shut out unconsciously. So it's a strong encouragement that we should ensure that this is happening. I personally, if I'm out of the house, I took it upon myself, no matter how stressful. I work in a high pressured environment. I lecture, and there's a high turnover of one module to the other. If I leave that to itself, it will mold me into its form, and it becomes my reality, and it can destroy my marriage. I deliberately, when I'm home, sometimes, you know what, I just say, baby, how are you doing? I've cultivated that habit. Now the children are also picking it. If I'm leaving the house, I'll tell them I've gotten to the train station. I take train from Sheffield to Leeds. I've gotten to the train station. My train is also time. By the time I get to Leeds, I arrived Leeds. By the time I've closed. By the time I'm coming down back, I'll put it, my train is scheduled for so time. Arrive in Sheffield. If I take a taxi, I share the link. If I don't take a taxi, if it's a bus, I share the link. That accountability also now had brought that into even to our children's world as well, that they have been doing the same thing. But the one that addresses this question is, I will tell you, baby, I'm just thinking about you. Sometimes I am grateful to God for being my wife and being the mother of my children. Sometimes I say, I don't know where I could have been without your involvement. Even a few days ago, I was still telling her, thank you for being the mother of my children. And I deliberately say some like that in the presence of our children, because I want them to learn. We are modeling it. We are modeling what we are telling them. But that, if you look at that, that will go a long way. Work will come and work will end. Marriage will stay a lifetime. I was almost at that stage, at the early stage, when I started high pressure work, even back home in Nigeria before we came to the UK. I would be so engrossed. I will deplete all my energies from work. When I get home, I'll be useless for the family. That is I told myself that daily, that is an irresponsible act. No matter how pressured I get, psychologically, I prepare myself that when I get home, they must still have it. The time might be short, but that short time must be a quality one. Sometimes we watch a movie together as a family. Sometimes I'm stressed, but because I need to fulfill this aspect, I'll just make myself available. I want her to be happy. We travel from Sheffield to Nottingham. I'm actually having this session now in a friend's house. And I quickly drove down 20 minutes to a place where I can sit down and I can be part of this program. I've stretched myself because I know that we have come to experience somebody's 50th birthday. And because she's an extra, we don't attend parties, but this one that she said she wants to, I want to make sure that she's happy. And therefore, I'm stretched, but I'm happy because I understand the impact. And that's some of the ways we can actually keep loving alive in marriage when life seems stressful. Whether we like it or yes, life is stressful on its own. It's stressful on its own. So it's for us to develop a mechanism or a system around it to make sure that there is a part of the family in our lives.
Wow.
Just
Sorry,
thank you so
I just remember this thing. As a parent, please, if you have the opportunity, if you own a business, or you have an organization of your own, please be for the next 1 year from January, that 1 year, make sure you understand when your children have their special days, parents' evening, inter-house sports, if it is done in, maybe if somebody's watching and maybe in Nigeria, special days, any special occasions like that, please block it out in your diary first and foremost from January. When you do that as a husband, and the husband and wife are looking at it this way, you are, it's a strategic approach to take out some measure of stress, because sometimes I'm so stressed. Beyond being stressed, I take on some things that I could have avoided if I have planned ahead. And that alone itself can communicate something so healthy to your partner at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Let me
Okay.
say something quickly. From what you're saying, is more about prioritizing your family,
Yeah.
prioritizing your
Yeah.
marriage and your kids, regardless of the empire you're building.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is so powerful. I know my husband is listening. We are going on date night. We'll find where they are.
There's a lot to unbox here. We are all having fun tonight. Wow, what a great time to learn. Okay, so Coach Tochi, this question on the screen is for you. How do you deal with the emotional of your parents constantly quarreling in front of you as a child?
Hmm.
Oh,
The mic is not on.
My mic is not on. Can you hear me?
oh,
No,
now yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. So the question says, how do you deal with emotion of your parents constantly quarreling in front of me as a child? Um I didn't get to experience a lot of this, but I unfortunately have fallen off the wagon and I have quarreled with my husband in front of my kids. And the unfortunate incident is that sometimes the person who remembers is my first daughter. Sometimes she mentions it even in the gathering of family members. Ah, mommy, I remember that day that you quarreled with daddy. And I'm like, please try and forget. Now, if I can get this Men in Black appliance to just zap that memory out, it's not good. It's not good. And I would say it traumatizes the child. It's not good. It doesn't put you and your partner in the best light, and your child is learning negatively from that experience. That was the last time it happened. That was it. And what was even the reason for the quarrel was something very stupid that we could have stopped in the room, but we brought it out to the living room where they were. So I would advise, if of course any parent that is here, if it's a burning issue that you need to address, please do it away from the kids. Lock yourself in the room and attack it. Let them not. It doesn't mean that you are hiding or you are pretending. No, you are preserving their mental health and their innocence. If you need to talk about something, if you don't, it's not even also compulsory that you must address it at that point in time. There are some issues that you can leave for later, maybe in the dead of the night when you guys are inside. You talk about it calmly and address it, communicate, talk about how it makes you feel and all of that. But try as much as possible to keep it away from the kids, because it's really not good. And that impression, it lasts longer than you would imagine. This is something that happened years ago. Me, I've even forgotten until she brings it up. Then I remember, like, this thing again. and you cannot take away that picture from their mind. So please avoid it as much as possible.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Because we are running out of time, because left for me, I want us to stay more, because this our marriages, it must work. This parenting,
Sorry,
it must
Dr.
work.
Eden, sorry to cut you short. I just want to add a little thing that I do to keep my own marriage alive because me, I'm also not, even though I like going out, but I understand my partner, he's somebody who is reserved and wants to be inside, just like Mr. Bamidele. So, in fact, a few weeks ago when he traveled, I just cajoled him. I was like, you wake up in the morning, you cannot even say, hey, baby, how are you? Eh? Me, I'll be sending you voice notes, send you pictures, send you everything. So, it's sort of what we do. We send memes, we send funny videos, any links to any comedy or any skit that we see that made us laugh. It's part of something that keeps our love alive because it's not every time that is intimacy, and see, sometimes they are not just in the mood. And again, it starts from the beginning of the day, everything that happened. Um, so we send a lot of memes, we send videos to one another, and then voice notes. And of course, when he's around, we are movie lovers. So at the end of the day, when the kids have gone to bed, we watch one or two, just one movie or a series, maybe one episode of a series, and we just talk about it and also talk about our day. So it's these little things. It doesn't have to be the big things of, you must go on a date. Sorry. And then again, the date can be something that you do in the house. It's not compulsory that you go to a restaurant. If you cannot find the time to do that, instead of neglecting it totally, do the little you can with the little time that you have, and just keep the spark alive.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Do you want to take that?
Uh, Coach Ify can take this last question so that we can just
Okay.
summarize with the
Okay.
very
So the
last.
last question is maybe we'll marry it with this one on the screen. What's one mistake you made in parenting or marriage that others can learn from? And this one on the screen says, how do you deal with a difficult partner? So this on the screen can go for 1 minute, please.
Okay. Let me start with mistakes. First of all, with parenting, I worried too much. You worry and you don't enjoy the moment with your kids. I was the person that I worried too much. Then I prioritized a clean environment, a clean home over having fun with the kids. And I had to learn that as much as you want to have a clean home and things like that, the kids want to have fun. And their own understanding of what life is or if you are a super mom or a super parent is that they're having fun. And that's part of their life. That's part of all our lives. That's the truth. But as kids, they will need it more. And me, I was the person that they play with one toy. I've already kept the toy back. Before they look back, that's where's my toy? I said, no, but you started the other one. That's why I kept this one. And kids, they will have this one, have this one. So as much as you want to keep order in the house, you try and let them have fun. And don't handle out of worry. I had to personally learn to trust God, learn to let them go. And the truth is that when you don't learn is when they are younger, when they start going to their teens, when they get to the university. If you are still worrying, then you just die of worry. But if you have done your best and you have prayed, you just have to let go because worry keeps you in a form of tension. So that's one mistake I made in parenting that I would have done differently, but I really took time with my kids. I was really there for them. Then in marriage, we talked about what you're talking about, how to keep love alive. First thing is that the Bible says, can two agree? Can two work except they agree? So if you're not yet married, our coach Bamidele said, congratulations. So right now you're hearing it again from me. Look for somebody you agree with. You have the same values. You can have fun together. You can fight together. There's a place of conflict. There's a place of disagreement. In answering the other question, even when you mistakenly disagree in front of your kids, it can happen to the best of couples. But you go back to address it. go back to the kids and explain it to them, because it can happen. They can, you're talking in your room, you think your voices are low. The kids, they are hearing every single thing you are saying. So the only thing is that you can just go back to them and explain the situation. Like, listen, there was something, Papa was saying this, I was saying this, but right now we have settled the problem. Sorry, we shouted, it was, apologize to them. Let them know there's a place for arguments. Some people say they never saw their parents argue. Why not? You're a human being. I argue with my kids a lot right now, but it should be an healthy form of argument. And for them as kids, you should, if they see you people arguing on LD, then you need to apologize to them and explain to them. So for marriage, one mistake I made was this: when you are with somebody, and you are giving your best, you are giving grace, you are giving space, and a person, even a child, keeps doing the same thing over time, you have to take them to the way they are. You understand? You have to take them, this is this person. So, and another thing, you talked about love language. Most of the time, we find out that we expect people to give us our own love language, and we also give them our own love language. You understand? I love having gifts, for example, or I love nice words, but the person you're married to like gifts. So every day you're writing letter to the person. You're wasting your time. You understand? So that's a mistake that is being done. That person is showing you who they are, what they want, and you are doing something differently, what you want. And mostly that takes place when there's no agreement. My ex-husband will always say, if a thief marry a woman that is a thief, their thieving career will prosper, because the man will thief and come back home. Police will come, the woman will defend that man till, you understand? You won't rob the man, give the man tips and everything like that. That is the power of agreement. And marriage is supposed to complement you. Marriage is supposed to complete you. You understand? So and when somebody, maybe in your courtship or the beginning of your marriage, is showing you something black and white, don't say it's going to change. It's going to change. Take that problem and deal with that problem. Stop just praying and believing they'll change. Go and ask for help. This person know the year word. I talk doesn't hear. What should I do? Don't sit down and be praying and believing. I believe in prayer so much, but take action to whatever they are showing you. Take action. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much.
How do you deal with a difficult partner? I don't know. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe somebody else will answer. Or should I answer?
No, it's okay. We can, Coach Tochi, Dele can take the question and also summarize.
I can go ahead.
Yeah.
I think the question is a bit general. It's general because being difficult could come from different areas. Is it maybe difficulty in how you make decisions together? Is it difficulties? It goes round and round. What I would just say based on the general question here is, I think we need to seek for help. If before now the issues are still pending and it seems as if we don't have a way around it, but before you seek for help, have we taken time to sit down and bring those issues up? Not when both parties are angry, at the point where you are both relaxed and you understand that you are trying to resolve these issues. Has that been tried? Have you consulted maybe with a professional before now? And because we need to drill down to know exactly which aspect or which area this person is proving difficult. Whatever difficulty you're seeing from the front is just proof that both parties are not yet in alignment and they don't get to understand each other. If you understand each other, I shouldn't be proving difficult to you. You shouldn't be proving difficult to me. It's a different thing. There are things that my wife will do. If I have my wife saying, don't do them. But because I understand, there are things that is part of our marriage. And I call it that is part of the baggage that I have, as long as it's not affecting the foundation of our marriage. But the ones that are really going to affect our relationship or can impact on the children, no. we have to talk about it. And if you've been talking about it and it seems as if nothing is still happening, please, I will request that you need to reach out. You need to reach out. I know that our time is up. So I don't know that I'll have this opportunity again, but what I will just say is this, that life inevitably throws um, curveballs. Curveballs. Deadlines will loom, relationship strain will happen, unexpected bills could arrive, and the daily grind can feel overwhelming. These are stressors. And what I just want to drop is that you are bigger than your stressors. And what I just also want to add in rounding this up is that you have to live intentionally, and please try to avoid living reactively. So live intentionally, not reactively. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. What an amazing section. Wow. I'm not seeing the comment section. Like, give us the best emojis. Seriously, this is a course on its own. It's a different course on its own, and we are taking all of this for free. Thank you so much, Coach Bamidele, Coach Ify, and Coach Tochi. Thank you so much. Okay, so before we call this section a wrap up, one last word for each each of you in the next 1 minute on balancing family stress without losing your mind. I'll start with Coach Ify.
And
Okay.
also, sorry, and also
Yeah.
include how we can connect with you
Reach out
after.
to you. Yeah.
Okay. You can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Balance Living Consulting. Balanced Living Consulting. You can get me, or even if you give Coach Ify in on Instagram, you get me there. So balancing marriage, family, and work is you being intentional, you being purposeful, you know. Because if you just go with the flow, you will just be thrown like the wind, just throw you here and there. But if you intentionally say to yourself, marriage is important to me, my family is important to me, work is important to me, and you know the different intensity of each one, now you are intentional about it, it will take you a long way. For me, I went back this year again and I asked myself, what are the most important things to me? What are the 5 most important things to me? I wrote them down. And I now ask myself, what do I do? What are the things that take most of my time? And I realized that what takes most of my time did not align with the most important things to me. So I started putting action. If I say my kids are the most important things to me, how am I spending time? How am I showing that? How am I communicating that? Because you cannot say, I love them in my heart. No, you have to act. Action is what people see, you know. So let your intentions line with your purpose, line with your belief, and know that they say if you throw a lot of balls up, your work, your friends, and everything, that the one of family is a glass ball. And that is the one you should always catch when every other thing is falling down. So take care of your family. And before you can take care of your family, take care of yourself. The longer you are there for your family, the longer you have an awesome family. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Coach Ify. Over to you, Coach Tochi. Please unmute. You're muted.
Can you hear
So,
me now?
yes.
Yes.
First, let us know how we
Okay.
can get to you, okay?
Yes, you can get me on Instagram at Talking Mom Stress or on Mom at Mom's Day Out. So quickly, my last few words. So like I always tell moms in my community, prioritize yourself, do one thing for yourself every day. And remember that you are in this for the long run. So start your day with intentionality, with God, with your affirmations, and trust that you are tougher than whatever challenges or situations you come across.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Tochi. Over to you, Coach Bamidele.
Thank you. I think I've actually said mine before the time, so I'll
Yeah.
just repeat that. You are bigger than your stressors. Live
Yeah.
intentionally, not reactively. And I think earlier on, when my Bible was being read, I think my social media handles were put up. I have a website. I have resources. If you visit me on my website, you'll see resources. I think I have like 6 books. Some of them are on Amazon, and some of them are on Seller. More are still coming this year. So but my handle is at Dele Agbogo, and we can always take it up from there. But when you get into my website, you get to know my world more because I major in 2 major areas: the leadership and the family, and that's why I started the podcast. I call it relational leadership because family is tied to personal effectiveness. It's also ultimately tied to um, how we perform at work in our career, and ultimately it has impact on the society. And that has been my mantra. That is my goal, and that is my life assignment, irrespective of the stress my 8 to 5 job is bringing my way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Over to
Wow.
you, Dr. Izine.
Thank you all so much, Mr. Dele, Coach Tochi, and Coach Ifi. This has been so fantastic. After this session, now I'm going to give someone's son a big hug right now because
Seriously.
it's great to give him a hug. He's trying, and this session also made me to realize that my family is very, very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a place I wrote house rules. I have very little children, 3 of them. And I've talked, as in, Tochi says you have to talk 13 times. It's like they all needs to reach 20 times. So I had to put house rules. And they now remember the consequences, even without me saying anything. So if I talk too
Yes.
much to one and they are not following it, I'll just go and include it in the house rules. They even remind me, you did not put it in the house rules. This team must work. Oh, this our family must work.
Yeah.
Our marriages
Me
must
too.
be raised.
Yes.
Our children must
Me
be raised
too.
well. Thank you
Amen.
so
Amen.
much.
Please, can I
Amen.
say something? It just
Okay.
pop up in my mind now.
Mhm.
Please, whoever is listening, this is from my heart. I didn't plan to say this before now. Family is very, very critical to the state of our society. Please, whatever you see goes on in the society is a reflection of the family. And that's why I have this burden, strong burden, how to relate family, how is impacting on the society. Please hold your family dear. Do all that you can to make things work. Grow together as husband and wife. If you are not yet married, go for counseling, healthy one, not the one that is one-sided, healthy one from professionals so that you are ready for the journey. Because we'll have responsibility to raise generations that are meant to bring about sane society. I've looked around, and that those are part of the things that God planted, that eventually planted that desire and that burden in my heart. Let's collaborate. Let's work together, and that's why I didn't blink when I got this opportunity to come and speak. I want to say thank you, Dr. Ezine, for this opportunity. We need more of this. We need more collaborations. Any platforms you have, as many as you have, if they as in thousands, you don't know what you are doing when you are organizing this kind of a thing. So is a burning desire in my heart. So please, let's do all that we can. And if you and your partner, or your husband, or your spouse, you are doing everything possible and it's still not working, please don't let it get so bad before you speak up. Please, because professionals are not magicians. If it's totally ruined before it gets to them, it will be pretty difficult to get it resolved. So before you get to that breaking point, speak up. Making it known to somebody you can confide in is no immaturity, and like some people had made me to want to make me to believe, it is actually maturity, and is a sign of you taking responsibility to make something work, because you know the damaging consequences. It span beyond your generation, it goes down, because there's a
Mm.
repetitive pattern that thing will generate, and it will go down with children and children's children, but children's children. But I pray that that will never be our portion, and there's no situation
Amen.
that cannot be remedied, no matter how bad, as long
Amen.
as the two people are ready to make it work. I just felt I need to say this out before we put a closure to it, which was not part of what I planned to say at all. But thank you so much for having me on here, and it's a privilege. I want to say a big thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
You all so much. Thank you everyone who has joined in. Please don't leave yet. We are just going on a very, very short break. Go and grab your coffee, grab your tea. I remember the first time I was giving tea,
Water.
where's the bread so that I'll cook when make it food. So go and drink your water. Yes, go and drink your water. We'll be back in just 5 minutes. Go and stretch. We'll be back shortly. See you.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Okay, someone is asking what's the website. I think maybe we'll put that on the screen.
Comments.
Yeah.
You can put it in the comments.
Okay.